Hi, this is David. In this video I'm going to be replacing the lower control arm ball joint in this Pontiac Grand Am. And up front I want to tell you that I'm going to be taking the control arm out on this video. I attempted to do the repair on the vehicle, found it wasn't happening that way. So I don't waste your time. Right up front I'm going to let you know this is going to be a control arm removal. And if you decide to watch it, appreciate it. And if this information keeps you from watching it, well, I don't want to waste your time. Thanks for watching. Okay, we're going to remove the caliper off of the, unbolt the caliper. And there are two 3/8 inch Allen Okay, now we're going to try to pry it off. There, come off fairly easily. As you can see the problem here, the grease cup is deteriorated on this steering control arm, a lower ball joint. So we're going to have to replace it. I've already procured a replacement part, and I didn't want to have to change out this entire steering lower control arm. So this replacement part's available here. What it means is we have to grind off these riveted fasteners that they put on the steering, on the control arm as original equipment. So we'll get at removing this ball joint. Okay, so first up we'll disconnect this motion sensor, just unplug it, and get the cable out of the way. Okay, we need to take out the bar link. And to do this, I'm going to jack up that into the ball joint a bit so we can relieve some tension on the nut that's at the top here. Just going to put a 14mm on the top and bottom and turn that bar link out. Keep the pieces in their proper orientation for reassembly. Okay, let's get the bar link out of there. Next up, see this castellated nut here. There's a cotter pin in there that we'll have to take out and then turn out the castellated nut. Okay, so we got a hold of the cotter pin, took out the bends, and that's that. Okay, so we've got our 18mm wrench on here. Proceeding to turn it off. Now to make it, of course, just a little bit more interesting, the castellated nut is topping out on the gear on here, on the CV axle. So we'll get in there and drive this down and then remove it the rest of the way. Okay, now we're going to separate this ball joint. Now if this joint wasn't bad and we were just trying to take it apart, this wouldn't be the way to do it, because this would ruin the boot. But we're not going to worry about it. Okay, from that angle I wound up hitting one of the rivets. And there it is, separated. Okay, so now we can turn this nut the rest of the way off. Okay. So next step is we're going to have to grind off these original factory fittings on here and slip in our new one. Now that it's ground down, okay, here's a shot of all three of these ground down. Okay, so I've been struggling to replace this lower ball joint on the control arm. Haven't been able to get the fasteners out. So I decided now to take out the control arm and to try to do it on a workbench. Okay, so here we are in the back with our 21 on top, box end open end wrench, and our 18mm socket down below. Finger time. These really didn't come out too badly. I was anticipating more trouble. Okay, again, there it is. Okay, that rear control arm, the rear bolt, it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, there's the 15mm bolt head access through this cutout in the frame. But on the back side, there's a nut. And I believe that's also probably about 15mm. That's down inside here. And I'm not sure how I'm going to get a tool in there to get that nut out if it isn't welded in. And I suspect it is not welded in. Okay, so I've got an 18mm open end wrench in the back here. And I'm just going to turn this in the front with my 15mm ratchet in there. And I've got a hold of it at an angle like this with this open end wrench. So we're going to be able to get her out. Yeah, I can turn the nut off by hand now. I did put some penetrant in here to let it sit overnight. There it falls out. Okay, so we worked this out by hook or crook here. And got this long bolt out of here. Put it in a safe place. Should be okay to reuse. Just got to get this wiring from the speed sensor out of the way. Attached to it. I'll move that on up out of the way. And now, hopefully, this will just pull out. But of course, nothing comes out quite that easily on a car. There it is. Okay, now I can go ahead and put this in a workbench and get these old fasteners out of there. Okay, so we've had some real difficulty getting these fasteners out. So what I'm going to do next is try to drill them out from here out of my workbench. So first order of business, center punch. And starting with a small drill bit. Good sharp small drill bit will successively drill this out. Okay, let's try this again with our newly sharpened bit. I've also recenter punched this because I was off center a little bit. Just try not to go through the workbench. It's a good idea to put a little cutting oil in there too, which I've done. So now we're just successively enlarging the hole. Just going up a couple bit sizes at a time. So here we are in the second one. Just taking our time, step by step, making the hole bigger and bigger. As you can see, we already knocked this one out. I'm working on the middle one now. I've got a 7/16 inch bit in this 3/8 inch drill. Okay, caught in there a little bit. Okay, I think I see the... I think our pin's going to come out here. Oh, the problem is we've caught the edge of it here. The edge of the hole on the inside. So I think what we need to do is knock this out. And knock the overhanging part of it out. And we're right on the edge here. You can see the... Now there it goes. I think for the most part we just took it out. Okay, on this third hole here, I had come off center at the beginning, so I drilled 3 holes in here. That's what happens when you aren't careful about centering. So what I've gradually done is tapped away at this with a small chisel. I've got it. Got it coming now. There. There it is. All mangled up.